Welcome to the Church of Christ at Lynette. And if you haven't at this time, please hit subscribe and send to all your family and friends.
We all drink that same spiritual cup, for they drink of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. Leaping out of the verses, if I had to make a title for this morning, it would be, Upon This Solid Rock I Stand. Amen. Upon this solid rock I stand. In this changing world in which all landmarks and all things have been tossed aside, all morals and all custom have been turned upside down. Upon this rock I stand. In a changing world in which sin is called sickness and alcoholism is called a disease and adultery has become respectable. As you see on all of these reality TV shows, on Love and Hip Hop and Atlanta Housewives and Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and all as the world go around, as they all end up in general hospitals, thinking that they're in a different world and forgetting about the cosmos. I tried to touch each one of our areas this morning. This rock I stand. During a time when our congregations are trying to be like denominations, the plan of salvation has become user-friendly. In a world that's crying out for women preachers and women in leadership, upon this rock I stand. I stopped by here to tell you this morning that if Manchester, if Noonan, if Hillcrest, if the Lynette Church of Christ want to stand for many more years, we're going to have to stand on the rock.
Yes, sir.
Don't stand on newology. Don't stand on papaology, but stand on the rock.
Yes, sir.
Don't stand on grandmaology. Don't stand on friends and family, but stand on the rock.
Yes, sir.
I maintain that on Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. Can we say it together this morning? On Christ, the solid rock I stand.
Yes, sir.
All other ground is sinking sand. I don't think y'all heard me this morning. Can we say it together? On Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. His word is as firm as the rock. We can depend on the word in shifting time. You see, when the rain of false doctrine pour down upon us, the wind of false philosophy can blow against us, and the flood of man-made religion can break the riverbanks, and the thunder of newology can contradict and startle God's word. But I gotta say this morning, let me sound my trumpet. On Christ, the solid rock I stand.
Yes, sir.
All other ground is sinking sand. I want to say this morning that my Jesus is a mighty good rock. You see, he is lustrous in his love. He is a mighty good rock. He is righteous in his rules. He is a mighty good rock. He is consistent in his care. He is a mighty good rock. He is magnificent in his majesty. He is a mighty good rock. He is unfailing in his deliverance. He is a mighty good rock. On Christ, the solid rock I stand.
Yes, sir.
All other ground is sinking sand. See, this morning I want to build my lesson on 3 sermonic rocks. Upon the doctrine of Christ I stand. Upon the churches of Christ I stand. And upon the promises of Christ I stand. Upon the doctrine of Christ I stand.
Yes, sir.
See, we're living in a time where people don't want to hear sound doctrine anymore. They want to hear testimony and tradition. They want to hear what mama said or what papa said. But on Christ, the solid rock, I stand. You don't need no new programs in the church. We don't need no new order of business in the church. All we need is the Bible. See, the Bible is right. When you got the right doctrine, it produces the right product. You see, it produces a product of righteousness. A seed produces a pure fruit. It is crazy and ridiculous to think that when you look at a grapevine, you're supposed to get cantaloupes and oranges off a grapevine. I maintain that if you plant the right seed, you will receive the right crop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In times, you know what baffles me is that when you have a seed, a Christian seed only produces a Christian.
Yes, sir.
A hellraiser produces a seed of its kind.
Yes, sir.
You see, in the church, this is how we get mixed up. We wonder why our friends and family leave the church. They are a product of the seed in which produced it.
Yes, sir.
I don't think y'all hear me this morning. Upon this solid rock I stand. You see, when you have a pure seed, the only thing that takes a seed is when you bring impurities in the seed to corrupt the seed. Therefore, you come out with a source of any kind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all know I'm old. You can kill. See, when you stand on a solid foundation, there's no imperfections in a solid foundation. You see, my Jesus had built a solid foundation, which is a mighty good rock. And if I was to ask my friend David, when you have a rock, you can kill giants. You see, when you're standing on a solid rock, you can kill all the giants in life. You can kill alcoholism when you're standing on a solid rock. You can kill the selfishness in the church when you're standing on a rock. With a rock, David killed a giant. See, the reason we have giants in our lives and we cannot defeat them,
Yes, sir.
because we're not standing on a solid foundation.
Amen. Amen.
You see, my God is a mighty good rock. The church should never lose its footing. You see, when you're standing on a solid foundation, you should never lose your footing. You see, if I was to tell the story of my life, they say, Brother Q, I remember the man you used to be. Why you didn't leave the church? Because I was based upon a solid foundation. See, I've been pushed, but I never lost my footing. I've been talked about, but I never lost my footing. I've been strayed away, but I never lost my footing because I stood upon a solid foundation. On Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand.
Yeah.
You see, when sin in my lifestyle prevails me, I was standing on a solid rock. I can remember, those of y'all from Manchester, you remember Auntie Linda, when we were little, we went to her daycare. And we call him Poo-Poo, but that's his brother. We used to be down at the creek, y'all, and Poo-Poo was always telling her, watch out for them green rocks. He said, because them green rocks is slippery. And so, me and my cousin did all that going down. We called ourselves standing on solid rocks. Poo-Poo said, I know these rocks are solid because these rocks have been here a long time. Because he looked at the way that the rocks were formed, and some of them had a little, they were disformed, but they looked like they were solid. I maintain, as you said this morning, Brother Tobias, that the reason we're having problems with our youth because they're looking at rocks that's supposed to have stability, but those rocks have not been tested. See, Jesus' rock has been tried and is tested, and it's a solid foundation. The reason they waver, brother, is because when rocks are tested, when storms arise, and when wind blows, and when the water comes through the river, those water got to be able to stand in the gap. But see, we got old Christians that's not willing to stand in the gap. So when storms and life come, they get in the current.
That's right.
But I admire you, young man, because as I told you last night, I said, you remind me of one of those rocks that sit right in the middle of a current. It looks like a new rock because it's clean, and it looks like a young rock. But see, as a young man, when he develops a solid foundation and he's been in the current all his life. Brother Chris, we talk about bass that live in the river versus the lake. A bass that live in the river is stronger than a bass that live in the lake because the lake don't have too many storms to affect it. But a bass that got to swim in the current all his life. You're developing yourself as a young minister at the age that you are now, that you're seeing some of the heartaches and pain right now. So that when you're developing, you're one of those old rocks that sit over on the corner. You saying, it don't matter if the water rise over here, I'm still going to stand on the rock.
Amen.
You see, on Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. My next sermonic rock is, upon this rock, the churches of Christ. Matthew 16:13 through 18. He said unto Peter, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I maintain that no building or institution can be stronger than its foundation on which it rests. Some ask the question about other institutions founded upon men. They are resting upon sand. The founders are weak, and they will ultimately fall. See, Christ will come through victorious, for his rock has been tried. It is a tried stone, a sure foundation. You see, on Christ, that solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. My third sermonic rock this morning, it will be that I stand upon the promises of Christ. John 2:19, Jesus answered and said, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up again.
Yes, sir.
I trust in the promises of Christ. You see, I want to paint a picture for you this morning. They crucified him on a Friday. He dropped and gave up the ghost. They took him down from the cross and put him in a tomb.
Yes, sir.
They put soldiers around the tomb to guard the tomb. They put a Roman stamp on the tomb, but they didn't know what they were doing. They took a rock. They put him inside of a rock.
Right.
They put him on top of a rock. And they covered him with another rock. But they didn't understand what they were doing. But when I read my Bible, it said, but early one Sunday morning,
Yes, sir.
before the rooster crowed,
Yes,
he dispatched an angel that came down from heaven, and the rock that was inside of a rock got up from the rock.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And raised it. I wouldn't be able to say that all of my fears were gone, because I would be standing alone without Christ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, he is my rock.
Yes,
When David got ready to fight Goliath, he said, just give me my rocks, because I know that I can defeat giants in life when I got a solid foundation, my stone, my rock. So I maintain this morning that when storms in life come to you, always remember your footing on the rock. I said in the essence of the lesson that a Christian produces Christian. I wonder why some of my friends, I wonder why some of my family have failed from grace, have failed from the rock. I maintain that they didn't have a solid foundation.
Yeah.
When you see family and you see friends falling from the rock, the foundation wouldn't say a Christian produce a Christian. Later on in life, if these kids right here fall off the rock, you know why they fell off the rock? They seen daddy fall off the rock. They seen grandmama fall off the rock. They seen other people fall off their solid foundation, so that gave them an excuse to get off the rock. Y'all understand what I'm saying? We just said that grapevine produced grapes. We said that watermelon vine produced watermelon. We said that hellraiser produced a seed of its kind. So when you get to the church, we wonder why we got so many problems going on in the church. A seed produces a seed of its kind. Look at their grandmas. Look at their granddaddies. Look at these. You see, my foundation was built a long time ago. I took a picture yesterday of one of the matriarchs in the family of my grandmother. You see, if you look throughout history, a solid stone was set a long time ago. The product of that stone brought my mom. The product of her brought you. And the product of me came from the seed that was the solid foundation a long time ago. So that's why we're maintaining the rock today. You see, so many times everyone want to make excuses for their own mistake. If we want to just stand up and say, yeah, I made a mistake, but I'm living life every day trying not to let my kids go down the same road that I went down. I keep telling y'all, my wife, we used to argue all the time, talk about stuff. She'd tell me, y'all not do that. I told my wife, ain't nothing you can do, Jamie. Ain't nothing you can do, Jamie. If I don't want change because they're right here, ain't nothing you can do, because I can fake it. I can easily come to you and fake it. But what I had to see was, when I started to get older and I had these kids right here. And as a man, this is what we got to understand as men in the church. Will you be willing to see your family suffer because of some of the things that you did? As a man, as a worldly man that thought I could turn up out there in the street, challenge anybody, for the Lord, I refuse to just stand and watch my kids go astray for the thing that I did. So I had to think about the rock. Say, what made your family, what made your mother and your father stay together cute? Because they had a foundation on the rock. Because when my dad would tell me his story, he was a dog too. And a seed produced a what? A seed. I was too. You see, but at some point in life, when you set it on a solid foundation, you know how to hold your foot through a storm. So I just want to remind us, sometimes as parents, man, we got to maintain and stay on the rock. Don't sit back and watch your children go to hell because of your mistake. That's right. That's why, man, you say, I don't know. See, people always start the plan of salvation off backwards. You understand what I'm saying? You hit the denomination, let them tell you, you got to believe. I maintain you got to hear first. Because if you heard wrong, you can believe wrong. You're off on the wrong track. See, God has done so many things to me in my life. When you got a solid foundation, no matter what storm comes into your life, you never forget your footing. You see, if you had a storm in your life and you waved and you battled the storm with your feet set like this, when the storm comes again in your life, only thing you got to do is go back and maintain footing. See, the problems in life, we always get caught up in society trying to please the world. The world ain't got nothing to give us. If you don't believe it, ask me. Everything that you can think, I tried to dip down, and even on Sunday morning I failed.
Yes, sir.
But the foundation was planted in me from a young age.
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad to see, and I learned a lot, and I'm glad to see those old preachers that built my solid foundation. I was glad to see my daddy set a foundation. I was glad to see Brother Roman set a foundation. I was glad to see Brother William and all those brothers setting foundations, because it had not